Anyway, as you know, my name's Howard Kodra, and I am the CEO of Oceans Harmony. Oceans Harmony is a worldwide organization. We're not just a local organization. We have an office in the United States, and we deal with some major organizations at the moment, such as Google and Microsoft, and that's basically who we are. That's Fox Glacier, by the way, in New Zealand, in the South Island. It's almost gone now. The last time I was there was about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was breaking up very badly, and you had to walk a long way to see any of it. And they reckon in the next 10 years that'll be a non-event as a tourist attraction. So things are going pretty quick as far as the glaciers are concerned. Okay, I was born a long time ago, 1947, and I was born, believe it or not, in Jewish Memorial Hospital in New York City, in Upper Manhattan. Interesting story behind that one. My mom and dad, on the right-hand side, they were from Budapest, Hungary. They immigrated here. Yeah, calm down, woman, calm down. Hogdash puffen baguette.
I can't speak.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Anyway, so they immigrated in the early 1930s. My father was actually declined immigration 3 times when he was coming here. Now, the reason for that was he was fairly well connected in Budapest, probably on the wrong side of things before the war. And but anyway, he finally got here. And my mom was a very gracious lady. She was a very well-to-do person in Budapest, as you can see by the gown. Things were pretty extravagant back in those days. The building in the middle is where I was raised, 221 Sherman Avenue, Manhattan, just off Dyckman Street. We had a great time there. So I was a very lucky child to be able to be born in a big city in the right time when everything was just a lot of fun in New York City. You could go out at night, you could have a good time, you didn't get stabbed. It was just a really nice place to be, okay? So you got to look at it that way. There we go. Family. Now, normally everybody talks about the family. Well, for me, that's very, very difficult because I got family everywhere. So it becomes a problem. So there's a collage of the family, okay? So there's everything. Now, I'm very proud the fact that I've got 4 granddaughters, the oldest being 19 and the youngest being 3. Good old to see you. So I got 4 granddaughters, and I'm pretty proud of that. And I've got 4 grandsons. One's real, the other 3 are de factos by, just different marriages and things like that. But they're all very, very, good. They look after me. And the big bonus about having a big family is that I've climbed the next ladder. And if you know anything about Indian culture, they have a ladder. So you get married, you have a child, you have a grandchild, and then you have a great-grandchild. And I've got a great-grandchild just turned 10 years old. Okay, so he's a young chap. His name is Dallas, typical American name. Interesting part about this is, and we'll embarrass Meaty for a second, bottom right-hand corner, there's a little girl with a dolphin. Who would that be? That was her first introduction to dolphins back when I was training dolphins and doing all that stuff. Okay. This is something you shouldn't do when you're young, okay? I became the youngest alligator wrestler in the United States when I was 15 years old. And I was also training dolphins back then and other animals and sea lions and bears and various things. And it was interesting because I traveled all around the United States doing this alligator wrestling show. And that particular picture, that was at Dodge City in Titusville, Florida, back in way back in the middle 60s, I suppose it was. And you don't want to do that because if the gator breaks loose, and you can see it's not a small gator, it's not a little baby puppy or something, it's a big thing. If he breaks loose there and he rolls, he can rip your head off. So you don't want to do that. But there's a trick to it because you'll notice my feet are underneath his front legs. Before I sit on his back and I'm holding him, you got to get to that point. You spread his back legs out, you put your feet up underneath his front legs, that way he can't roll. He has no traction. And then, of course, the other thing is you got to move your hands around, and then you got to get it under there. So you got to be very careful with that. So anyway, don't do that. Don't get your kids to do it. Okay, Sea Life Park in Hawaii. I was a dolphin trainer there for a couple of years back in the early 70s. That's Mamu. She was a beached dolphin. Okay, she was just a young little dolphin. She got beached, and we took her into care. And that was the graduating marine biology group that I was in at the University of Hawaii. And they actually sponsored the dolphin, and every once in a while they would come out. And that was Mamu's first birthday because she survived. But she couldn't be released because she wouldn't know anything about it because she was only a couple of weeks old when she was found on the beach. So whatever's happened to her now, I wouldn't have any idea. But these dolphins can live to be 35, 40 years old, so you just don't know. Whoops, go back, bottom button, correct. Okay. Intriguing things, highlights of my life. The first Roman ride in the United States, that's when you're standing on two dolphins and you're water skiing. And I wasn't a water skier, believe me or not. That's at Marine Landing Game Farm in Niagara Falls, Canada, back in 1976, when I was training the dolphins. They were only open in the winter, by the way, because in the summer it snowed in. You can't do too much. The center picture is SeaWorld on the Gold Coast in 1977, when I first came over here. I had 6 weeks to put that together for Keith Williams when we were opening SeaWorld for the new the Qantas Stadium. And that's about after 4 weeks of training. You can see the difference between the standard of the dolphins and my standing to the one in the right picture where they're already professional at what they're doing. Left-hand side was another key point in my life. That's the development of Cades County Water Park. Oh, hi. I'm beginning a signal. Cades County Water Park, very important because that turned into Wet and Wild Water Park, which is one of the key water parks in the world today. So I'm very proud of that achievement. Moving on, Grundy's and Surfers Paradise. Next achievement, General Manager of Grundy's Television's Leisure Division worldwide. We built a water slide right on the Gold Coast. You might not remember it, but it was right across Cavill Avenue. We were made to take it down 4 years later because some of the counselors and people thought it looked like an oil refinery. What can we say? Okay, marathons. I used to train for marathons. I trained about 150 kilometers every week for about 15 years. And I raced in different parts of the world, Hawaii and other places, and had a great old time doing that. And now we get on to who are we? Oceans Harmony is a nonprofit organization committed to protecting marine life, conserving the world's oceans. Our new grants program that's just about to come out soon is going to be able to give people around the world money so that they can do research and they can do the things that they need to do to help the environment so we can protect it. That's really something that's important. So that's coming up at the moment. David's actually doing the website. Simone's doing all the video productions. So we got a lot of help. Oceans Harmony, we believe that the planet's health is inseparable from its oceans. We are dedicated to preserving and restoring marine life environments worldwide, supporting projects to protect and sustain ocean life. Now, you can imagine how important that is. If you don't do these things, then you get a lot of problems, okay? Our core missions, our goals: maintain, improve, and conserve. We protect the oceans. The 70% of this planet is actually water. Think about it, 70% of it. If we don't protect the water and we don't look after it, the marine life starts to go backwards. That's the source of life on all this planet. It is, believe it or not. Some people just don't take it that way. So what happens if you don't do it? Well, that's what happens. You get trash. Picture on the left-hand side very quickly is not an actual polluted beach by the people. It's polluted by the stuff that's washing up on the beach through the currents. The right-hand picture was COVID. Who can pick what COVID did to us in the marine environment? Quickly, come on, find it. Masks, thank you. Over billions and billions and billions of these masks are floating around in the ocean and being eaten by turtles today. They look just like a sea urchin. They're light blue. They got a white trim, and they got tentacles. So how can you help? Okay, 90% of life caught in shark nets is not harmful to us. I'm going to go very quickly because I know I'm running out of time. That's what a shark net looks like on the Gold Coast. Okay, it's about 150 meters long, and it's maybe 4 to 6 meters deep. 94% of everything caught in it is not harmful to you, me, and all of us, okay? That's why New South Wales is now pulling the shark nets out for the rest of the season. That's a shark net on a 1 kilometer beach. You can do the science. There's no way you're going to protect yourself from all the sharks. It just makes no sense, none whatsoever. Okay, so there you go. How you can help us do this? You can become a sponsor. That helps us, okay, as a business. You can spread the word through social media. Okay, social media is vital to us, okay? Donate to our environmental fund. And visit oceansharmony.org. It's that simple. Thank you.